Hey YouTube, in this video we've got a really exciting unboxing from CubeDepotUSA.com. So, first off, if you haven't checked out my Twitch before, make sure to come on by at DGCubes Live on Twitch. I stream pretty frequently, every couple days, and this unboxing is actually currently being filmed live on Twitch. Shout out to the 32 people in chat right now who are hanging out. Alright, so we've got some exciting puzzles in here. I haven't tried any of them before, so it should be really cool. Starting off, we've got the Shengshou Clock with an anime girl in the front. We've also got the one and only X-Man Bell. Actually, the two and only, because this is the V2. Ooh. And we've got the YJ MGC 4x4. That's what we got for today. Yeah, we got a lot of all caps going on in chat right now, so I'm going to try to match that energy. We'll start with a clock. So it's been a long time coming that a mainstream company has made a clock, and supposedly a good clock. We'll see how this is. I haven't tried it before. It says Shengshou on it, which is interesting because they used to spell their name Shengshou. Maybe that's so it's pronounced more accurately. Anyway, first thing I noticed is that this clock is sort of pushed in a little bit, and that doesn't look right. We'll try to fix that, but let's just try moving some pins around and see if that changes. It's not changing with the pins, maybe with the dials. Yeah, that clock is stuck in there. That is stuck in there. So, that's a great start. That is problematic. Kind of shifted even more. That is a bit of a problem. Yeah, this is not a great start. I know you can open this one, but there are screws in it, so I need a really tiny screwdriver to be able to open it. But fortunately, I've got just the screwdriver for the task. We may have to just do this right here, right now. Before I do go any further, I do want to say that I have currently a Lingao clock that's been magnetized by Jehoa Rubik's, Josh Farron, and he's super good at magnetizing stuff. This is an excellent clock, and I'm very happy with it. I just decided I would try out the Shengshou one because it's pretty cheap, and I was also curious if it would be any good. So we're going to find that out, but out of the box, it already needs help, so that's problematic. One thing I will say that's really cool about this, that's different from other clocks, is how easy it is to take apart. One thing that I do know about the Lingao clock is that a lot of times when you take it apart, it will actually break, which is really bad. And so this one actually has screws, and it's easy for a setup noob like me to take it apart, it seems like. So that's a great sign right off the bat. But the bad sign right off the bat is that it is like broken right now. Okay, so I've taken all the screws out. Ooh, it's coming apart. Look at that. That is beautiful. I love that that works. That's a big step for this. There we go. We got the clock back in. This is so cool, guys. You can sort of push them in. I wish this was just what a clock was, because this is so satisfying to just push like that. It's so nice. I love this. As I'm putting this back together, I do want to give a big shout out to my sponsors over at CubeDepotUSA.com. Make sure to check them out and save 5% with the discount code DGCubes at checkout. Yeah, they're super cool, so please check them out. We're going to have to screw all these screws back in now. Alright, so let's see how this clock is now, now that it is working. Alright, so right off the bat, this is a little blocky, a little hard to turn, I guess. As in, like, you know, it is magnetic. The pins are a lot better than like an original Lingao or something like that. But it's very, very clicky in a way that's not very happiness-inducing. So my overall first impression is pretty negative, although this side is actually better, which is interesting. So I would say for a mass-produced clock, this is the best one I've tried, but I'm still personally much more happy with this Lingao clock made by Josh. I can just turn it so lightly, and it'll actually respond to that. On this Shengshou one, out of the box at least, it still takes a lot of force to do any turns. I can't quite do it light, and you can see because my finger's sort of bending under the pressure. Yeah, so somebody in chat is telling me that they think the Shengshou can get good with a lot of work, like V-Cube modding. So that's kind of a lot for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to put in all that work, but hey, if you're somebody who likes setting up cubes, that could be a good move. Otherwise, I think if you have a clock you're happy with, it's not necessary to upgrade to the Shengshou, because it just might not be that good. Alright, moving on. Let's move on to the YJ MGC 4x4. Wow, that opened easily. So, this 4x4 is one that was recommended to me a lot because I'm doing 4x4 on stream now, and I actually just got an Aosu WRM from CubeDepot, but they just got the MGC in stock, and so I figured it would be a good opportunity to give it a try. And that does not come off easily, let me just say that. Ta-da! MGC. First turns. Ooh. Weird. Guys, I'm confused. I don't think I've ever turned a cube like this. And that's not necessarily a positive thing. It's just very unique. And I don't know what I think of it. It's so sandy out of the box. And it's also really fast. Like, it feels like frictionless at times. Like, it only snaps between turns because, you know, it's magnetic, obviously. But, like, between the turns... or, sorry, it only snaps after turns. But between the turns, it feels like it moves almost instantly, which is pretty crazy. Interesting. Yeah, this is so weird. I was getting some slight lockups on it, too. But I do like this. I'm not opposed to it. So for comparison, here is the Aosu WRM. The Aosu WRM is like a much slower, more standard cube, I guess. Like, this just feels kind of like, picture like an old Qi Wuchui. The Aosu WRM gives me Wuchui vibes. It turns like a normal 4x4, I guess. Whereas this gives me like almost really old school cube vibes, because I don't know, like picture something like, this is going to go way over most new cubers' heads, but if you've ever heard of an East Sheen 4x4, you know, those cubes couldn't corner cut back in the day, but they were very glidey and very fast when you could actually get them turning. So this feels like an East Sheen 4x4 that can corner cut and not lock up so much, maybe. That's sort of the vibe that I get from this. You guys can just sort of see just how there's like no friction. Like, it feels like it is lubricating my wrist because it feels like my wrist is turning faster than it normally can just by doing this, which is very weird. I don't know how to describe it. I'm gonna do a solve on it just so we can maybe get an idea of if I would be good on it or anything like that. I have no clue. I am totally lost by this. I haven't felt any 4x4 like it. Totally lost my place on edges there. That's sad. Okay, so my first solve was a 47. I average around like 44, 43-ish, so that's not all too great for me. But also there were some problems on that solve just with my solving and not with the cube. So I would actually generally say that this works pretty well in a solve for me. Like, I felt like the cube wasn't limiting me at all. So, out of the box, I feel like this maybe has more potential than the Aosu WRM. It is also a little bit bigger, which I am noticing. I'm a little bit used to a smaller 4x4 because I've been solving on this Aosu. Let's check corner cutting real quick, though. Wow, that is nice. Just one piece, easy. In the middle, not quite going to do that. We're going to get some lockups there. About half a piece. And yeah, maybe the middle layers are where this cube kind of doesn't shine very well. But the outer layer turning is definitely excellent. But overall, I definitely find it interesting. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Let's move on to the Bell V2. Ever since this thing was announced, I have not been able to go a single stream without people asking me if I've tried the Bell V2. And so the answer is finally going to be yes. Now we've got an X-Man Bell V2. And in here we've got a whole bunch of stuff that I really don't want. Let's do some first turns. Interesting. Huh. It's very speedy. Right out of the box. Very fast. I will say that. So, my main up to this point has been the Shengshou Mr. M, set up by Stephen Winteringham, and I do really like this Pyraminx as well. But this Bell V2 is so far really cool. I'm definitely intrigued. Tips are very sandy. They also have a bit of a noise. actual just turning style doesn't really mean that much to me. It's more about if I can use it in solves. We'll see. I'm gonna do like an average of 5 here and we'll get a basic idea. 238. The tip was a little bit tricky there at the end, but the rest of the solve was good. 226. That could have been a slightly better solve, but that's okay. That was just due to my turning and not the puzzle itself. That was part of a tricky thing that I have with this puzzle so far already, is just the tips. They were really moving, and I didn't quite know how to control them on that one, so that was a 376. Yeah, that was another sort of awkward tip moment. 316 on that one. 258. That was decent. Okay, so we got a 271 average of 5, which is solid. I can't quite control this yet, but I think it's got a lot of potential to be a main at some point. I just need to really understand it more. Yeah, so personal recommendation, I would say it's definitely worth a shot if you're into Pyraminx. This is a top tier puzzle. I think it's really nice. It's got a lot of potential, especially with setup if you're into that sort of thing. As far as if it'll be my main, when you're watching this on YouTube, you can always check my website at DGCubes.com. It's always linked in the description of all my videos. And if you go to the mains and PBs tab, you can check my mains for every event. So even if it's not my main as of when I upload this video, it may be later, and you can always check back there to see what cubes I'm using. So because somebody in chat asked me to, I decided to do an average of 5 on Mr. M as well, and I got a 262. So pretty close. Not that an average of 5 can decide really which Pyraminx is better for me. I'm gonna need to do way more solves to know that for sure. But I think they're both definite contenders for my main. They're both pretty good. So at the very least, one of these will probably be a backup. So anyway, that's going to be about it for this unboxing from CubeDepot. Make sure to check them out at the link in the description and save 5% with the discount code DGCubes at checkout. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.